we will do our intro for the video for those at home, shall we? So, previously on The Curse of Strahd, The Beckoning. Upon the third floor of Durst Manor, the party is silently warned of danger by the temporary visage of Rosevalda Durst. Entering the nursemaid's room, the ghostly form of Margaret hushes them to mind the baby before disappearing herself. Zoltan moves on to explore, dismissing a linen closet nearby. Jax, however, discovers a cobweb-covered broom, revealed through her magical sight to be enchanted. Reaching for it, the broom animates in defense and sends the sorceress back over the balcony. Though quick to initially stop her fall, Zoltan and Grimbald soon lose their grip, just as Lunaris and Kinyaa'aanii dispatch the animated broom. Jax's pet raven Poe flies down in panic to where his owner lay dying, and the others rush unaware that some abyssal force has made contact with the sorceress in her critical state. Jax awakens, watching with the party as her raven's eyes close for good, seeing them open once again, though now with a third eye that glows under the magical sight, possessed by a pale blue light. Barricading themselves in the nursemaid's room, the party endures haunting experiences before awakening refreshed, though troubled, the knowledge that Durst Manor surely has more secrets and surprises in store for them. And now, the continuation.
Beautiful. Beautiful job, Zach.
Thank you. All right. I think we can actually do... Yeah, let's do this. So, I figured out a way to make essentially a... What would you call it? Fog of war type of thing. I've actually built blocks on top of the different rooms that you guys haven't gone into yet, so that we can look at it sort of top down. Yeah. Rather than having these candles that kind of emit black light and stuff, like, while that's great for ambiance, it really messes with my graphics. It's very slow to render after I have like 5 or 6 kind of piled in one room. So this is essentially what you guys are, back looking at. Everybody is essentially awake. Zoltan seems a little bit more anxious to get moving. He doesn't really want to be here anymore. And yeah, he says, in his sort of more characteristic forward nature, he thinks it's time to get to the bottom of this house and figure out what's going on.
Sorry, my mic almost just fell off my desk. I'm trying to fix it.
It's all good.
All right, are we all awake at this point?
Yes, you're all awake. You guys have essentially moved your dresser out of the way of the main hall. It's back, kind of blocking the mirror and everything like that in that particular entrance. I think that was the last thing that you guys had basically chosen to do, from what I remember anyway. So, yeah. And so you are refreshed. I believe you all have full hit points. You have all your abilities and spells and all that fancy stuff back, ready to go. I'm going to say that he is not going to have his torch out. He'll have his scimitars out. He seems a little bit more on edge. He kind of comments that he wouldn't mind checking downstairs briefly, because he did hear somebody go down there to the secret bookcase, he thinks is what he had heard open whilst you guys were all asleep. But he doesn't need to go this second or anything like that. We can just finish looking around the floor.
Lunaris would respond like, that's actually a really good idea. I've been wanting to re-secure downstairs since this illusion wore off.
Okay. We can go downstairs and check out whatever that was.
Cool. All right. In that case, I will just open up the other map.
Sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure if Zoltan was going down there alone or not, but
no, he won't be too quick to go off on his own quite yet or anything like that. But he just feels like he needs to go downstairs. Something was bothering him about it.
Okay. I don't necessarily want anyone going off on their own after what just happened as well.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, he'll take the lead, and he doesn't mind taking a look. For the record, this fireplace is not as, there's no fire actually in it, and it's a lot darker and colder and more cobwebby than it currently seems in here. It's much more akin to upstairs.
Okay.
But yeah, so he'll kind of go in here. Who wants to follow? Just out of curiosity, like if some people want to stay upstairs, that's fine. I'm just curious who's where.
I'll follow.
I'll stay upstairs.
Okay.
I'll stay with Kinyaa'aanii as well.
Okay. Sounds good.
I guess I'll go downstairs with the other two.
Ready? Realize your flames are not purple.
How dare.
Perfect. Zoltan will take the time to light this and this. As he
Does
kinda
Jax
walks
have
through.
produce fire still? I was just curious because
Yep.
she had used it for. Oh, that's right. We did just rest, didn't we?
Well, Produce Fire is actually a cantrip, so she just has to keep
Oh,
on.
goodness.
She can hold. I think it's, if I understand correctly, it's basically a concentration. So if she gets kind of disrupted or attacked or something like that, it will probably wink out. But she can basically keep on casting it over and over again to have a flame with her, in her hand,
That's
kind of as a
so
light.
awesome.
Yeah,
It's very
I believe-
convenient.
I
Very.
believe that's how it works, from what I understand.
That's what it seems like, yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I'm going to rule it for now. For the record, for those who may watch this and see my amateur-ish rules, dungeon mastery-ness, I don't care, for the record. I always lean towards story more than rules, although I do
We
like the
live our own
mechanics. Yeah, I like the mechanics. I think they're important, but I also fundamentally have final say and don't give a shit really what the comments say. So
It's our first day on the job.
yeah, for sure. So Zoltan just kind of feels like a little, and he looks really uneasy. He looks like he didn't have necessarily a great night's sleep. He's not injured or anything like that, but he's like just a little paranoid looking. And so he kind of is giving the room another once over, looking at the books and everything like that. Is there anything you two want to do whilst you're down here? You guys aren't here.
I'll look around the room, see if I find anything.
If you guys want to give me a perception check.
Perception.
Oh,
What?
that's right. I need to get my dice out. I knew I was forgetting something.
What
Oh
would
no!
what would Lunaris and Kinyaa'aanii be doing whilst these guys are just downstairs? Are you guys just chilling out, or?
Yeah, because we mostly have already looked everywhere upstairs, haven't we?
No, you still have quite a few
No,
rooms.
we haven't.
Okay.
Kind of scared to go off without the group.
You guys are
Another
welcome
room.
to.
Oh no.
So whilst this is happening, what I can do is, for however much time essentially we spend here, I can skip to you guys and we can play out if you guys want to have been exploring upstairs at the same time. But it's up
probably
to you.
at least just viewing into the next room, but not necessarily advancing.
Not grabbing a broom.
Yeah, don't grab a broom.
Sounds good.
I rolled a 6, so I don't see none.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got 15.
Yeah. It doesn't seem to have changed from what you can tell. Zoltan's kind of shuffling through papers here, just more curious than anything. Eventually, he will kind of go back here, and this is where he just seems really, really uneasy about opening this door, and he kind of looks back at you, like his usual calm and his usual confidence kind of is peeking through just a bit that he's worried for some reason. And so he's kind of back with two scimitars, and he uses one scimitar to open the door once more. He sees the corpse in there. He takes a peek. He finally, looks like it takes him a couple of minutes, but he seems to have calmed down. He goes in. He doesn't find anything. You guys don't find anything or anything like that. In the meantime, I will just quickly. The next one. Whilst that's going on, it'll take we'll say about 4 or 5 minutes. There, you guys are down there. Let me. We'll go back up here for a second. Glad this actually loads pretty quickly.
Mhm.
All right, we'll assume Lunaris is here. Collisions always turn back on. And Kinyaa'aanii. All right. So you guys are basically here. You hear them kind of rummaging downstairs. There is a light at the bottom here where probably the purple flames kind of like coming and going in the hall or something like that. But yeah, where would you like to go? There is a double doors here. There's also a door right here. That's so far is all that you.
Let's see. Double doors are more important. Let's take a look at the single door.
Okay.
I
Who's
agree.
going in front?
I'll go up front.
All right. So the door opens, and inside is a bathtub.
That's good.
Damn!
Let me just read this description right quick. This dark room contains a wooden tub with clawed feet, a small iron stove with a kettle resting on top of it, and a barrel under a spigot in the corner of one wall. Clearly, it's used as a cistern. A cistern on the roof is used to collect rainwater here, which is borne down a pipe and this to the spigot. However, the plumbing doesn't seem to be working very well, and this water is pretty much gone bare. It's not working very well. But yeah, if you go inside, it essentially what you see.
Okay. Well, then I will turn around and head out since there is nothing to see.
Out of curiosity, do you guys tend to close doors, keep them open? I'm just more of just a curiosity than anything.
Yeah, I mean, you can. For me, I can close the door.
Okay. Oops, I didn't mean to open that. All right.
Okay, so that was just the bathroom.
Yep.
So, should we
Opening-
explore this other room? Lunaris.
Wait. It's a double door. It means
It's a
that
double
means
door.
it could be a boss room.
Or just a
so
big
far.
bathroom.
What
Very,
does
very large
Kinyaa'aanii?
closet.
Are you asking Lunaris if you should open it, or you just open it?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna ask
Okay,
Lunaris. Yeah.
All right. I just sometimes just check.
I'm being very cautious. Can I make a roll to like listen on the other side, see if there's like growling or
That's a good idea. If you get a low one, I can roll as well.
so what am I rolling? Perception?
Perception. Sorry.
Perception. Mhm.
Precipitation? No, that's sweating.
Perspiration.
I was in the bathroom.
Precipitation is rain. That's it. What is my perception? +1? Okie dokie. It is a 18 +1.
Oh, nice. Okay.
What you don't hear anything. You don't hear anything. What you do sense, though, is a slight breeze coming from underneath the door. So you suspect there's some airflow or something on the other side
Maybe
of
an
this.
open window or Kinyaa'aanii, let's wait. I don't know. I got some feeling of this room. Let's wait for the others.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
I'll go back to you guys.
Well, actually, before can I do like a detect evil, because I forgot that I actually have it now.
Sure.
divine
Yeah,
sense.
that's is that a first level spell? Oh no,
Yeah,
it's not a
yeah.
spell. You just have a. Oh, sorry,
an
you have a
action.
divine sense. Yeah, you have a
Yeah.
divine sense. Is what you're saying.
Divine
Yeah.
sense, good and evil.
Technically different thing, but
60
yeah, go
feet.
ahead.
So yeah. So I used it. There's no roll or anything. Sense anything affected by a hollow spell or know the location of any celestial fiend or undead. Anything like that on the other side of the door.
No, but you get an immediate sense that there's something evil right here and down one floor.
So the room itself seems fine, but the next room down.
On this floor, it seems fine. Well, you know that technically, you know that what's here is that staircase in here.
Yeah, that we tried to break into.
The staircase one level low below you has some definite undead presence, and we'll go over there right now.
Yep, Kinyaa'aanii. I was just going to mention to Kinyaa'aanii. Not only will we wait, but I actually want to go check on the party downstairs. I want to make sure everyone's okay.
Sounds good. I will follow. At least we cleared one room.
Yeah, so basically you guys are, spend 5 minutes here. Zoltan looks, much calmer and fine now. Turns and says, we just need to get out of here. And yeah, let's just go back upstairs and meet with our companions.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
All right. As you guys are going, and this is about the time that Lunaris happens to
Plop down
use
on the
their
stairs.
divine sense, you suddenly hear a clatter of scimitars, and you turn around just to see small hands grasp onto the cloak of Zoltan, and he shouts out just as he gets pulled through this wall, and it closes up behind him. And you hear behind the wall screams as he hears a as something seems to be dragging him down and down the staircase that seems to be down
What he
there.
gets for dropping me. I'm just kidding.
Damn.
just absolutely like it's like zero fucks given.
I'm kidding, of course. I'm kidding, of course.
Lunaris and Kinyaa'aanii. Lunaris, your divine sense allows you to continue to recognize that, this undead force is descending at great speed.
Until it's out of range.
Until it's essentially out of range quite quickly. Yeah,
That's
but
crazy.
you know that the range from which what you understand is at least 10 feet below the earth from where you
that's what I was
originally came.
thinking. It's like where that kind of bubble is. It's definitely, this house isn't that big, so it goes even further down.
Yeah.
So as that's happening, though, Jax is yelling for Lunaris and Kinyaa'aanii.
More or less
Lunaris!
already on the way down the stairs.
Sounds good. Oh yeah, I guess you guys would come from over here.
What happened? What's going on? I sensed
Zoltan
something.
just got snatched.
The snatcheries.
You got kidnapped.
Snatcheroony.
Where'd he go? Where'd they take him?
Right here
I
in the
don't
wall.
know. He went through the wall.
The wall? Wait, isn't that the wall we
The
tried to break in
window.
before?
To the window.
To the wall.
Uh,
Till the spooks crawl down your wall.
oh Lord. Okay. Yes, that is the wall, and he just disappeared into it. These hands came out and grabbed him and pulled him through.
We need to find a way. We need to find where the staircase is. I assume, since with my sense it goes below the earth, I assume that we may have to go up to get to the top and then proceed downwards.
So you think we have to go up to go down?
Exactly. This place is so upside down. I know it sounds weird, but that's just how it works here.
Okay. Okay, I was just making sure I understood correctly. That's all.
Exactly. Well, we
How-
tried to bust through that door once already, and that was unsuccessful.
Yes.
How long, out of curiosity,
wall.
how long does your divine sense last for again?
Till the end of my next turn, so it's already done.
Okay, just making sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Assuming you guys going back upstairs.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Zoltan Mordred III. How are you, sir?
I am doing well, other than the aforementioned issues.
Ah, yes. Which we
Are out of
all
our
know
control.
they are. Yeah. And Zoltan, as you are convinced that everything is fine, you have checked everything twice over, seems fine. As you're passing here, suddenly you hear the wall beside you, without any warning, open up and hands grip you from the feet and drag you through the wall.
Great.
And so,
So I wasn't wrong, but I wasn't right either.
that's, yeah, exactly. Just about this time is when Lunaris is like, we really need to go downstairs and make sure that they're okay. And of course, things were not okay because your ass gets sucked through here. And
My ass or my whole body? Just checking.
your whole body. Here's a problem. Here's one of the problems. The thing that happens is, for whatever reason, as you're going through, the walls refuse to allow your weapons to come with you, so you drop both your scimitars. And as soon as you're in here, because what I had decided was like, well, you can't hold a torch and two scimitars at the same time, and because you're paranoid right now, I said, okay, he doesn't have a torch. As soon as you get through this wall, it is pitch black. All you can feel is a bunch of small hands or arms or something gripping onto you. There's at least like about 6 pairs, and they all wrestle you down, and so you're basically being dragged, and it's sort of a all the way down,
Okay.
dozens and dozens of feet. And
I like this, although I hate it, but I love it.
exactly. So and so we'll pick up with you going through the wall. What would you attempt to do as you're being dragged?
Well, my first
Constantly
question would be, do I lose my other weapons or just what I had in my hands? I'm basically disarmed.
Just your scimitars is all that was sort of whether it was partly because you were surprised and you just kind of got dragged under kind of thing, and they disarmed you, or the wall just prevented them from being gone through. You're not quite sure. It could have been both, or either or. Yes. Currently, your ass is getting dragged lower and lower and lower.
Okay. I will try to. Oh boy! So I'm getting dragged all the way down. Can I do anything while being dragged, or is it basically once I hit the bottom, that's when I can do something?
No, you well, basically I'll allow you. Your first round is you're still in this staircase. You're basically dragged probably 30 feet down before you, because it's a surprise round essentially. So you're probably, I would say you're 10 feet under the actual house by now.
Okay. Well, I reach for the
you're about the first floor. Yeah.
The shovel that I have attached to my backpack.
Okay.
Because I thought, in these close quarters, this is probably the best thing that I can reach for. So,
Classic.
what I'm doing is reaching for my shovel, because I think that'll probably do me better here than a light crossbow would.
That's good. What I'll do, I'm just going to pull this up right quick. Window capture. So basically, just to show you exactly what was happening here, this is where you were, and you've been dragged.
Ooh.
You've been dragged 10. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to get give me a second. 10, 20. So you're basically right around here. This. Now, here's the problem with, well, and I'll totally allow you to grab your shovel and everything like that.
Mhm.
But here's what's kind of happening right now. This is how dark it is.
Okay. Yes.
Because you have no light
Yeah,
right
of
now.
course.
So
Yeah,
you
well,
certainly can
while
wrestle.
I'm being dragged, I will just swing wildly in what I assume to be
Sure.
kind of
Yep.
traditional fighting maneuvers, etc., in an
Yep, sounds
attempt
good,
to hit
sounds good.
something.
Sounds good. Yeah. So you get about here, and you can go ahead and give me a attack roll.
Okay.
Now you are at disadvantage because it's pitch black, but I will allow you because you can feel multiple hands gripping you. It is possible for you to essentially try and bash something. I'll say you can make a move to actually pick up your shovel. Go ahead and give me a acrobatics check for it, just to see if you actually
first.
just to see if you actually even in the blackest of black, if you even get the bloody thing. Well,
And you wanted this at disadvantage, this acrobatics check.
No, I'll allow you just to do it straight because you kind of have a good idea of where your stuff is, and I'm fine with that.
We're looking at 24.
Yeah, you're kind of being dragged and stuff like that. You're manhandled. Give me a perception check whilst you're at it, actually.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that. How about I give you a 1 for perception?
Okay. Yeah, you're completely oblivious. You're just in shock right now. So it's
okay.
You just don't know exactly what's happening, but instinct has taken over. You know exactly where your shovel is. You grab it and you swing. Now, give me an attack roll at your.
This is at the disadvantage. Okay.
This is the disadvantaged one. Yeah.
Okay. Can I still use my +5 modifier that I have? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's good so far. And that is...
Holy crap.
Okay, I will take a 21.
That's awesome. So the improvised damage of a shovel. Let's make it...
Well, my thoughts are... unarmed is... What is it again?
I think it's just 1d2 plus your strength.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. So I'll make it equal to like a light, maybe like a, let's do 1d4.
Scimitar is d6, so a d4 makes sense to me. Plus
yeah, let's do a
strength
d4
or plus dex modifier, because that's what I'm rolling on, or no? Whatever you think.
We'll say it's probably still a light weapon. So okay. Yeah, I'll give you the +3 bonus. Yeah, for damage.
Okay, sounds good. Let me see if I can find a d4 here.
I have to look something up just.
Oops, I don't know how I rolled 2, but
that's okay.
A 4. They were both 4s, but I can re-roll it again if you like.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So it'll be 7 damage.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. So again, a lot's happening at the moment. You are certain that you hit something because you didn't have a good perception check. You have no idea what you hit. There are multiple voices. They are a myriad of different languages. One of them. What kind of languages do you have?
I think common or whatever they call it in this. Let me check here. Where is this?
Common and Elvish. Okay, yeah. So you do hear one voice being Elvish.
Okay.
It's basically a very strange voice. It's almost disembodied to some degree. And it says, "Hold on to his leg! Hold on to his leg! Quick!" Okay. And the one that you hit, it basically does a quick yelp. Doesn't say anything that you understand anyway. But yes, clearly you've hit something and you've done damage to it. But you haven't dislodged them by any means, and you descend another 30 feet which you quickly find out. Sorry, these guys aren't supposed to be here. Quickly find out is really hard, rough dirt floor.
Okay.
And you get dragged about 10 more feet. There's still no light to be seen or to be had. And yeah, you're pretty much here. Again, it's like super, super dark, so you can't see anything. But yeah, it's your turn again.
Okay.
So.
Where do I currently feel hands hanging on to me? Like, what body parts are they currently attached to?
So I would say there are. Give me another perception check. I'll let you.
Okay.
Since you're...
Okay. 12.
12. Yeah. So you're confident that there are at least 5, possibly 6 small hands on you. Actually, I would say even smaller than small. So tiny hands. Okay. There are 1 pair on each set of your limbs, and there are probably 2 from underneath of you lifting you up.
Okay. Before I swing, I will give them a chance here. I will shout in Elvish so that at least the one guy understands.
Sure.
Lay your hands off of me, or you will come to regret it.
All right. There is a chittering of different laughter. The one in particular repeats in Elvish, the idiot said this, sort of thing, and just repeats what you said. And that's when they chitter. It's like, no, the guy has no idea what he's talking about, kind of thing. And that was an actual common voice, or common tongue that said that.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, so it doesn't seem, so they're still kind of manhandling you a bit.
Can I use either a intimidation or something on that, or no?
Sure, yeah, you can go ahead and give me an intimidation if you want.
8, probably not. I would guess.
Yeah, they're kind of chittering. There's some laughter and everything like that. There's something strange about some of their voices. Like, now that you've had a chance to kind of listen, you're sure that they're like, some of them are talking common, but it's like very garbled. It doesn't sound like normal mouths or something like that. So, but yeah.
Can I assume that only the one who spoke Elvish actually understood me when I said that? Like, he had to translate? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So only the one seems to know Elvish.
Okay. So they don't seem to be trying to wound me at the moment, just drag me down here. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, they're definitely working in concert to just basically drag you. Okay. You're not getting hurt or anything like that currently, from what you can tell. It's more, I mean, if you are getting hurt, it's like a scraped knee and a bump on the head, but no real, actual.
Yeah. So I'll say to them, now that I know you understand me, what is your goal here?
Yeah. So they're still carrying you. They're kind of ignoring you for now. Do you want to continue talking, or do you want to try and wrestle with them still?
Yeah, I'll try to grapple or anti-grapple, whatever you want to say. Grapple to get out of here. Which, oh crap, that's athletics, isn't it?
You can do acrobatics. It's still an opposed acrobatics check.
Okay. So I'll do that, and I'll kind of say that while I'm trying to jump out. If I can use that as a bonus action or something. 11. Actually,
I rolled really badly. You just kind of you might not have intimidated anybody, but you bolstered your own confidence enough that you like basically shook a bunch of them off, and they drop you right around here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I don't know where that is, but I will accept that.
Yeah. You're in pitch black. You're prone currently, but you do have the ability to move. One of the common voices curses. What would he have said? He would have said, He probably cursed at his own friends. Actually, he's like, "Oh, you stupid fools! We're gonna get in trouble if we don't get him. Quick, just grab his limbs already." And so they will basically try and reestablish a grapple.
Okay.
You.
So I deduce that these guys don't know what they're doing. They are not in control. This guy might be the leader of this band, but he is still reporting to someone. So that's all going on just inside my head. Can I attempt to, I don't know if I'd have to use a perception check first here, but kind of triangulate where his voice is coming from and try to whack him with a shovel?
Yeah, so basically he was underneath of you. He almost seems flattened.
Okay.
Go give me one last perception check.
Sure, yep.
After that, I won't give you more information.
11.
Yeah, so the only thing you know is that these are tiny creatures. They're not halfling size. They're smaller than halflings from what you can tell.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm thinking like Tinkerbell size here.
Pretty close.
Okay. My question is how
you don't get it.
I hit one of them for 7 points of damage. Do these guys really have that many hit points?
Yep.
Oh, are they a swarm? I don't know if that works in this game, but I know in 40k that would like.
I wasn't sure if I was going to run it that way. I'm going to say no, they're not technically a swarm. Although, no, they're not technically a swarm. I'll say that.
Okay. So I will ask this, but I don't know if you'll put it together. So they're sorry, I'll ask this, but whether you can answer it or not, that's fine.
Sure.
So I'm going to assume their hit points are not pooled then.
That's correct.
Okay.
So I'll say the one that you did hit for sure, from what your knowledge is the one on your leg.
Okay. Okay, I will try to aim for that same guy again here.
Sure, sounds good.
Okay. Oh, shit. Why does that... Weird. Only 12, but it looks like I landed on a... Oh, that's why. Never mind. 12.
All right. It is still pitch black, so it is a disadvantage. So roll one more time.
Okay, yes, please. Thank you. We'll keep it at a 12.
12. Let me just double check. Make sure this is...
The 7 looked like a 1, so I was really confused.
So good, so good. Let me just quickly roll one for myself. Oh, you're such a lucky bastard. Yeah, you definitely hit it. Go ahead and give me 1d4 plus 3 damage.
Okay, there we go. 7 damage.
Nice. So this time, like, you're confident the shuffling on your leg is still there. He still basically had a hold of it. It's pretty easy for you, especially, you're just adept at fighting in general. You send your shovel straight down, kind of at an angle near your foot, and you cut into something, and you can tell that it has basically been severed in half. There is a gasp from your other foot. So we'll say you kind of hit on your left foot. The right foot goes. It is a female voice. And then the elvish one says, "You bastard! You killed our companion!" And they all reinitialize at that, just out of outrage. Grab you. Give me a acrobatics check, but at disadvantage, please.
Okay, you really sounded like well, what are their names? In what's that movie called? In Willow, those little guys.
In Willow. To some degree, that's kind of what you're up against here.
Okay, acrobatics at disadvantage. Okay.
Oh, it's a good start.
Okay.
Yeah. So you, I'll even say that at this point, even though you're prone, you have the ability to get up. With this, and they're basically just they're fumbling around with you. It seems like these guys, they know the area, but they're probably just as diminished in their ability to see, or at least some of them are. There is sort of like almost like a strange childlikeness about this, where they're kind of fumbling and bumbling, trying to catch you, and they're cursing at one another. Very kind of Three Stooges kind of
gotcha.
deal.
That makes sense. Well, I'll say I don't want to have to put the rest of you down like I put your friend down. Stop this now.
Okay. So they stop, but they stop because one guy goes, "Oh shit, it's Thorn."
Oh, great.
So there is a light blue light.
Was that in common or was that Elvish? The guy who said
that was in common. That was in common. From behind you, you kind of hear a chuckle. A similar chuckle that you've heard previously. Let me see if I can.
Pleasant.
There is a glowing blue light from behind you as that happens. And this is what you see from behind you. Thorn looks much different than he did when you first met him outside. His features look almost as if they are teenaged, even though it's kind of captured in the small body of the young boy. In his hands is what you recall the name to be of his toy, Blink. And its eyes are glowing blue, and it seems to be, whether Thorn is the source or the doll is the source, you're not sure, but the exact same blue glow rests in the eyes of Thorn. So he basically laughs and just stares at you very menacingly. He is extremely disturbing looking anyway, very emancipated. A little bit different. Very different concept. Yeah. And his doll looks
emaciated.
Very emaciated. Is that what it is? Emaciated. Yeah.
Yep.
Very menacing as well. Almost like a crooked smile. And it's the eyes of both of them and sort of a soft silhouette around his body in his ghostly figure that is causing the light to appear here.
Can I assume that this doll he has in his hands is the same type of creature that's been wrestling me?
Yes, I won't even make you. That's a good indicator. In fact, I'll even show you. I didn't get a chance to do a whole bunch, but this is actually kind of one of the things as the light lightens upon you. Kind of your eyes begin to adjust, and surrounding you is. Let me just quickly.
I thought it was going to be tribbles or something.
No. So what you see is an example here, very similar in style of Blink, except it looks like basically a straw-filled
doll.
Yeah, doll of some sort. It's probably like it's just a rag doll essentially, and it looks like it might be like cloth sack or something like that from a potato sack or something similar, but it looks like it's got some straw sticking out of it. But yeah, it's a doll. And there are 6. One of them, which was a kind of slightly larger than this one, green looking one, with little fuzzy tusks, looked kind of like a larger half orc possibly, or an orc of some kind, which is kind of accounts for one of the languages that you heard. But it's been severed in half, clearly by your strike, and might account for why it was a bit tougher than the other ones, at least. So you see this one, which is kind of like it might be a wizard or something like that with a cloak, a sorcerer or something like that. There is a fighter one that actually has like a tin can kind of wrapped around its chest to look like armor. There is an elf that has like a stick with a little shoestring for a bow, just sort of wrapped around itself. You don't think it looks like it actually is functional, but that's what's on it. there is also a female one that was on your right leg that looks like it just looks like a blonde doll. It actually is really slightly different. It looks nicer, I guess. It's not the same cloth. It looks a little bit more well kept and pretty, if you want. It's not quite a Barbie doll, but it looks like more of a feminine figure.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so there's 6 of them. One of them's clearly cut in half and very still. But yeah, the immediate concern is of this very demonic-looking child staring at you from behind you.
So before we go on, can I assume that shovel probably didn't do too much because that's bludgeoning rather than slashing damage to these guys? I would imagine they'd be weak to slashing.
Yes, possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that I can do anything about that right now.
Yeah, I you'd have to. You're not quite sure yet. I'll say that you're not too sure. You're not quite sure how button eyes in a burlap sack of arms and stuff like that can be so sentient and everything like that. Some of them have mouths. Some of them are kind of stitched and everything, and so you are kind of hearing their voices partly through them. Some of it, like, they open up. Other ones are like, so it doesn't look like they actually can talk. Maybe you're not sure. But yeah, that's essentially what you see. They all kind of back away from you, but clearly not from you, from Thorn.
Okay. So are they... Well, I can tell that they were created by him and his sister, I would assume. But they... do they seem to fear him as if they're like his slaves or something, or as in they're not aligned with him, period?
You're not quite sure. They certainly seem to respect. They're giving ample room to this thing. I go ahead and give you one more perception check.
Okay. How about a 19?
Yeah. So you, as you're kind of peering at them, just briefly,
I'm making up for my rolls when I dropped. What's her name? Anna.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, you're hitting, which is like, considering you have disadvantage, you're doing good. Actually,
I'm quite pleased.
Yeah. So there's the one with this one right here, the wizard looking one. The bell is clearly shaking, like it's dingling a little bit. You didn't really notice it because it's like it's not really like. Yeah, it looks like they are as scared as dolls can be of what's in front of you, or what's behind you, technically. But yeah. So I'll say basically they're right here.
Okay.
Kind of cluster up. You are right here,
Could
and
you
Thorn
move Thorn and the doll off there just so I can see the map more?
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, so this is essentially where they are clustered. You are right here, and he is right here. So
okay,
yeah. He doesn't say anything. He just sits there and stares at you, kind of menacingly. The doll appears still, from what you can tell, but its eyes are glowing.
Okay. The doll in his hand, you mean, not the one that it's sliced in half. Okay.
No, yeah, that one. Yeah, that one's dead for sure. The rest, they all look like just kind of like dolls that happen to be animated, essentially. So.
Well, I'll get on my feet and I'll say, Thorn, I did not expect to see you here.
And I did not expect my friends to be so useless. They clearly are kind of huddled up together, kind of like, yeah, kind of cowering, as small as they are, looking to try and defend.
So I'll turn around not turn around, but look over my shoulder at them and say, "You call this guy your friend?"
The blonde female one kind of whimpers a bit. The warrior and the wizard kind of puff out their little burlap sack chests a little bit, like, put their kind of pudgy little arms on their hips, and try to look brave and, stuff like that, and, a little defensive. But the elf says in Elvish, you have no idea what you're talking about. At that, Thorn rolls his eyes and says, "It seems I'll have to do things myself." The doll in his hands suddenly leaps out of his arms, and Thorn floats towards you, and his hand begins to enter your chest. Give me a charisma saving throw, please.
Charisma saving throw. Okay. Ooh, 7.
Yeah. So as much as you're not only unprepared for it, but you're completely disturbed by the fact that this arm enters you, and he flips around, and suddenly you feel a young boy, teenager, creature thing fuse into your own body, and your body goes rigid, and you relax. And you hear your own voice go, "Interesting. I've never been this tall." And you start to turn and walk around, and he kind of has to feel around for a second. Clearly, it's still very dark. The blue light is pretty much vanished. He turns on this light, and what you recognize very quickly is that you are in some kind of dungeon. He walks with your body and opens this cage and walks inside, turns around and uses your hand to shut it. And as it closes, you realize, you look down, there are bones of some humanoid person below your feet. And suddenly you come to yourself, and you look ahead as you just kind of come out of this trance, your body suddenly repossessing you, and Thorn appears in front of you and grabs the lock and goes click. And then one last time you hear an unfortunate laugh as he turns around. The doll jumps into his hands. The other dolls have been kind of huddling, looking around the corner, watching this happen. And the female with the kind of blondish straw or whatever is in her hair kind of lowers her head, shakes her head in what you can assume to be sort of reservation or sorrow or something like that. And he kind of goes like this, and they scatter, and suddenly the light goes. Tss,
Okay.
and you are in pitch black. I don't know where. I have a light here somewhere that I didn't know. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Looks like it's coming from the lock or something. I don't know.
Yeah, weird. Yeah, you find yourself in pitch black. Your equipment's still basically with you, but you're missing your swords, and yeah.
Okay.
That is where we'll leave it.
Okay.
I assume we'll have to go into the attic, but there is one more room up there that we're going to check before we head up. There may be another unsecured place.
All right.
I let them know that I felt the breeze through the door.
All right. Here you guys are. Who's opening the door?
Kiyaa'aanii, would you like to lead again?
Yes, I'll go ahead and open up the door.
Skadoosh.
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 And skadoo. And skadee. And oh my. Is this the right one? Yeah, this is right. I'll just do that for now.
All right, and I'll go ahead and step in first. I'll go in first to kind of see
Sounds
what's
good.
going on.
Yeah, so The double doors to this room have dusty panes of stained glass set into them. The designs on the glass resemble windmills. This dusty cobweb-filled room, master bedroom, has burgundy drapes covering the windows, but is impossible not to first notice by torch or magical light.
Oh.
The Hanged Man card, upside down.
Yeah, exactly.
But in actuality, it is a desiccated body hanging from the canopy of the room's large four-poster bed.
Ah.
As you enter, you see that the bed has embroidered curtains and tattered gossamer veils. Other furnishings include a matching pair of wardrobes, a vanity with a wood-framed mirror, and a jewelry box, as well as a fine padded chair. A rotting tiger skin rug lies on the floor in front of a small fireplace. And then, assuming, yeah, I guess you're close enough here. There you go. Now you can see the rest of the room. So yeah, this is what you see. Actually, can get rid of that too. Yeah.
Oh, ghastly.
Who's going in? What you guys doing?
I want to see if I can examine the body to see if there's anything like on the man,
Sure.
the dead man.
All right. Anybody else going in the room?
I'm gonna go over to the jewelry box.
I'm gonna stick by Jax.
Sounds good.
Lunaris is like, Jax is a troublemaker. I need to pay attention to this one. This young one.
Kinyaa'aanii, what are you gonna do?
I'm just going to maybe search the other side where the door is blocking the, kind of just in that area.
Yeah.
Just look around.
There is just FYI, there is a mirror here. That's
Okay.
sort of similar thing on the other side that you hadn't met. There's obviously a room behind it. It's not really all that well concealed. It looks kind of, but you can open it if you want.
Can I see myself in the mirror this time?
That's not supposed to be there. That was Margaret from the other room. Yeah, you can definitely see yourself in the mirror. It is covered in a fine layer of dust, and you're more opaque than completely seen. But yeah, Lunaris and Jax, please give me a medicine roll.
Okie That's a
and
+1 for me.
in the meantime, just quickly.
16.
Okay.
7.
All right. Let's see here.
At least one of us got decent.
For Grimbald,
Yes.
the jewelry box on the vanity is made of silver and gold filigree. It looks pretty good. Pretty, you have a decent eye. It's worth something. When you open it up, it contains 3 golden rings, a thin platinum necklace with a topaz pendant on it. You also happen, as you are enamored with the jewels, you notice a letter that has been, it's just a small, tiny letter that is in the jewelry box, and it looks like it's been sealed but unsent at some point. Kinyaa'aanii, before we continue, let me just make sure what we find over here. Yeah, so you find wardrobes. The room in here is dust covered and full of cobwebs. It probably had some fancy stuff in there once upon a time, but it looks like it's actually been looted at some point, so there's nothing really inside there. There is a lamp here if you wanted to light it. The breeze that Lunaris, or sorry, was it Lunaris who rolled the 18?
Yeah.
Yeah. The breeze is coming from this door. There's a door in the wall over here that there's a little bit of a gap, and you can tell that it leads to probably the end balcony or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. For the check, Lunaris, you don't see anything. You can't really quite figure out, anything too special about the person, but you do happen to see a letter that is crumpled in a skeletal, desiccated hand that is being held by this hanged man.
Okay.
You based on your medicine check, you know that this is for sure a suicide. There's a tipped over chair that was being held up, that was holding the man up. It is quite high off the ground, so even if he were to try and stand on the bed, he still had quite a few feet of room, and it is a male that is hanging there. Yeah. Anyway, what do you guys do?
What do I notice anything?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
try to get the higher one.
noticed the letter, another letter, other than the one that Grimbald found.
A different one.
But this one is held in a hand. It looks like it's clenched quite
Oh, okay.
tightly.
So I noticed the same thing that Lunaris did.
Yeah, you noticed the letter. Lunaris is more the medicine roll was more to find out whether or not this was actually a suicide and
Okay.
whether or not it was a man or a woman, that kind of information. So,
Following. Okay, so I want to carefully take the letter from his hand.
yeah, it is clenched quite tightly. It's got more than rigor mortis. It's seemed like the last thing that he or this person was obsessed with was this letter. So it takes a bit of work to open it. Can you give me an athletics check, please?
Yes.
You're gonna have to break some fingers.
My athletics is -1. I got a 13, so 12.
That's fine. Yeah, it does. You're trying to be gentle about it, but it does take a couple of fingers snapping before you finally wrestle this crumpled letter up. It's been surprisingly well kept for, maybe it's because it was just like it was sealed in there really
Held
well
so
or something
tightly.
like that. But, yeah, exactly. Are you going to read it?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Yeah. All right.
I'm holding it so Lunaris and I can both read it together.
That's good. You guys see that well enough?
Can you
Sort of.
can you move that? Thank you. Yeah, that's perfect.
All right.
The darkness.
Says, my dearest children.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Do you want me to read it?
Go
Or
ahead.
do you
yeah.
want to read it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Go for it.
My dearest children, the darkness takes us, and I am sorry that your mother and I have brought it upon you. What began as a survival turned into our obsession, and now to our downfall. In my final moments, I see clear. We are anathema and are being punished. We deserve it, but I regret that your fates are tied to ours. I love you both with all my heart. No amount of darkness and death will ever change that. May all of our souls find peace. Your loving father. What does it say? Gustav? Gustav.
Yeah. Who was you know that Gustav Durst was the patron of the house.
That's right.
As you finish the letter, Kinyaa'aanii, suddenly this vase comes flying across the room and smashes into this bed, just missing your head.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Why are all the objects here trying to murder us? What the hell?
So can I take the items from the jewelry box and then read the letter to everybody?
Are you trying to take these items surreptitiously, or are you doing them obviously?
Obviously.
Obviously.
It's
Okay.
for everyone's.
Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome to take it all. Do you want to read the letter that is in there?
Yes, I would like to read it to everybody.
Good.
In the meantime, I just
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Never mind.
Oh, yeah, sure. My dear Mrs. Protovna, your advice on dealing with the unwanted fiend in my home is quite good advice indeed. Tonight's ceremony will proceed as planned, when the moon is at its highest peak, without, of course, the attendance of Mr. Durst. I must agree with you that, with the assistance of such a remarkably innocent subject, the results of our proceedings may be far improved. Innocent, of course, is not quite the term I would use. If nothing else, I'm relieved that I shall soon no longer have to suffer the harlot's insufferable presence each time we must pass through her quarters to our meeting space. We shall be well rid of her indeed. My thanks, Mrs. Elizabeth Durst.
Hmm.
That was a little bit rude, don't you think?
Yes. Sounds like the mother's not quite as kind as the father.
Sounds like they were all up to something, some shenanigans.
I'm also going to take the box.
Cool. Yep. You guys, because he's not really hiding it. There is a little halfling who is pocketing a few fairly nice-looking valuables. Just FYI.
Grimbald, are you sure this is a good idea?
Yes.
It's good.
All right. Well, I suppose we should continue.
One
Yes.
one question that I had with the letter that me and Jax had. I wanted to mention to Jax, what does that what does that say? That one word?
Anathema.
Anathema?
Anathema.
I thought it was anathema. That's how I've always said it.
Anathema? What
I
is
call it
anathema?
anathema.
Okay, so an anathema, as Zell says,
However you want to say it.
it's it's something that like you really hate. It's almost like if you think about like an antithesis of something. That's kind of how I remember it. It's like it's similar to that. It's like you that how do you say this other word that I always mispronounce too? Vehemently. Vehemently, is that okay? Thank you, Sal. You vehemently dislike something. You really hate it.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
It's kind of like worse than being a leper. A leper is somebody
Yeah.
who like they're diseased and they're shunned because they're diseased. Anathema is someone who is shunned because they're willfully choosing some horrible act. So it's like purposely trying to spread like leprosy or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of the extent of how horrible that word means.
It can be a person or a thing, though. It doesn't have to be a person.
Or an action. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for the filling.
Mhm.
Me and all my
All right.
books that I've read, I've got good vocabulary knowege.
Yes, you do.
Yay.
First time I heard that word.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to say probably the first time I heard them too.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's why I was curious. Cool. Thank you.
Whilst they're reading letters and taking loot, Kinyaa'aanii, what are you doing?
I want to check out this back patio area if it's open. I kind of just want to see, even though it's just there, I just kind of want to peek and see what's out there.
Sure. There's two very sturdy locks on this one that you have to pull apart to kind of unlock the door.
Yeah.
But yeah. If
So
you
would I
do
need to use energy or?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. You can just.
All right. I just want to step out, get some fresh air, kind of look around.
Yeah, very
Smaller
similar
balcony.
very similar to the front balcony. It is desperately quiet and haunting and misty and dark as all darkness can possibly be, with no sky or no, if you can see the ground, it's kind of like covered in a layer of mist and darkness that you're not quite sure is something you want to be jumping into. Although if you're the adventurous type, maybe it does nothing. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to come out and check it out so I could go back in.
But yeah.
And we could just leave the doors open because, what's the point in closing them?
Sure.
And
it is-
nice.
I still don't see any immediate way to get to this staircase.
Yeah. So
We'll have to advance upward, but I am feeling a little safer now.
this staircase that goes over there, that's pretty much the last that's in here. Let me just make sure that let me see I'm not missing anything here. Oh yeah, the other thing that is of other note is there is the dumbwaiter that is present on the other floors over here as well, that has a bell essentially right in this area that clearly, if you were to ring it, then it would ring the kitchen. You recognize the mechanism essentially as, hey, give me my food type of thing. But very Cinderella.
Cinderella.
Other than that, yeah, I think that's all that is in this area.
All right, well, let's go.
Let's go. Let's enter from the stair side.
We gotta get Zoltan.
So we don't have to move that thing.
Yes.
Sounds good. All right. Onward and upward. Upward and onward.
I was thinking that bigger room could have been a possible better base of operations, but I don't think we wanted to stay in a room with a dead body.
Yeah, there is definitely a significant like
odor.
It's an old body, so it doesn't smell that bad, but it's way worse than the mildewed,
Bed
bedding that you had.
I'm not sure that we need a base of operations. We need to save Zoltan, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're done with our base of operations. We slept. We're good.
We need to get the hell out of here. That's the operations we're on.
So now we're in the attic?
Yeah, so...
And to look for treasure.
Treasure. I'm going to take the lead this time since I got the bright light.
That's good. Stop. Actually, I'll just put Zoltan down. No, sit down. Oh, you little... Why won't let me put him? It's weird. Whatever. Put him there.
Zoltan is now part of the wall.
Remind me he's in the wall. I mean, technically he did go into a wall, but it's not this one.
I just remember where I heard the name Zoltan before. Dude, where's my car?
Exactly. That's what I told him.
Exactly. You got it.
I don't think he knew that, so I kept on trying to convince him to like change his name to like. I said, "Can I just call you Mordred?" He's like, "No, my name is Zoltan." I was like, "You know where that's from, right?" "No, I've never heard that name before." It's like, "Yes, you have. We've watched the movie." It's like, "What?" "Oh, Zoltan." "What?" "Zoltan from Dudes, Where's My Car?" "Oh, well, that's a totally different character. I'm keeping the name."
Exactly. No, it's fine. It's a good name.
It is a good name. Yeah, it's just funny. Yeah. So, sorry, this is technically closed. So you guys come up the stairs. Obviously, you just came from this area. There's a platform here, and it kind of climbs up a little more. You guys come to a door. Ooh,
All right, I would like to do a perception check.
Sure, do it up.
Perception.
It's good to listen.
Oh, 23. 20 plus 3.
Nice.
Any sounds, smells, or sights beware.
Let me think about what you might hear. That's a pretty good roll. You hear, not from the next room, but from somewhere in the, so technically west is, this is north, this direction. So to the east, somewhere in this area, there is a girl crying. You hear a girl's, it's very, very faint. The fact that you hear it is probably due to your better senses in general, but yeah.
Open the door.
Let's do it. Let's go inside.
Right.
Let's be cautious. We don't know what could be
Yes, open it slowly.
up here.
We gotta save our friend. We gotta go.
Jack, slow down.
All right.
Oh, look, another broom. No, I'm just kidding.
There we go. So this is obviously an attic. It doesn't seem as nice as the rest of the house, even though obviously it has deteriorated from its original view. But yeah, it's clearly an attic. It's more, how would we say, humble. It's just humble for the house that you've seen so far, kind of thing. There are wall lights, little candles and stuff on lamps, lampstands and such. But yeah, so let me just see if I can't give you a little bit more light here. You have a door over here with a big freaking thing of cobwebs, apparently. Sorry. And you
Is
have
there
a
a
door
door
here, and you have a door here and here.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Can I walk in and light the lamps that are in there?
Sure can. Whoosh. You use your fire, you touch the wick of the lamp, it goes woof, but it doesn't glow purple because that's only for you.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
I'm sure the initial spark would be purple, but then it would burn
I'm just going to get rid
orange.
of this because it's really annoying. it's probably not that cobwebby. I just randomized the cobwebs, so. Whoosh. Yeah, what you got? Kinyaa'aanii, do you tell anybody that you hear crying at all?
Yeah, I can tell everybody that I heard that, just so everybody's cautious as well.
Where from? I didn't hear anything.
As you kind of like listen as he mentions it and everything like that, Kinyaa'aanii, the closer you get, you realize it's coming from behind this door. As you happen to look at it, you also notice that there's a padlock on it, and that it looks like it's locked fast.
Does anybody have any kind of lock picking skills? Possibly Mr. Grimm.
I will lockpick the lock.
Alrighty. Go ahead and give me I believe it's just a dexterity check. I think you get to use your proficiency bonus as well. Let me just double check this.
Okay. Here, these two. Set of these tools includes a small file, set of lockpicks, a small mirror mounted on a metal handle, a set of narrow-bladed scissors, and a pair of pliers. Proficiency with these tools lets you add your proficiency bonus to any ability check that makes allows you to make it towards disarm traps or open locks. So yeah, so you get a +2 plus your +1 for dexterity. So go ahead and roll your dexterity 1d20. I rolled a 16.
Sounds good. Give me 2 seconds to check something.
That's okay. Take your time.
Jax, give me an intelligence roll, please.
Sure.
Just a straight intelligence.
Sure. I rolled a 20, and do I add? It says intelligence 13 plus 1 on my thing. Do I add anything to that?
21
then?
altogether.
Okay.
So Grimbald's sitting there whittling away, and you're kind of watching over him and thinking about it for a second, and then it dawns on you that this lock, looks kind of like you have possibly picked up a key for it already, actually.
Oh, I forgot that I grabbed something like that. I have.
As soon as you realize, he clicks and it unlocks anyway.
Oh, well. You know.
It's good.
You know.
So
Thanks for the
Grimbald,
key, Jax.
you're rolling away, and then you see Jax pull out a key and kind of look at the lock and look at you, and
Well, good job, Grim.
all right. Who's going in first, or open the door?
Do we see anything upon opening the door?
Are you opening the door?
I mean, Grim's the one at the door, so
Yeah.
I would assume he would need to be the one
I'll
to
let
open
Grim.
it.
I will
Yeah.
open the door.
All right.
Good luck.
Skadoosh. And skadoosh. A gasp. You find 2 corpses, a chest, and a familiar doll on a bed covered in cobwebs. I'll actually read this description. Give me a second here.
Out of character, I'm instantly scared of that chest.
I want to take the doll.
Of course, Jax wants to take the doll.
The door to this room is locked from the outside, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Okay. This room contains a bricked-up window flanked by 2 dusty wood-framed beds sized for children. Do I have this accidentally covered? I do. Whoopsie. Let me just move it this way. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was going to say, there's something else in this room. I know there is. Close to the door is a toy chest with windmills painted on its side and a dollhouse that's a perfect replica of the dreary edifice in which you stand. These furnishings are draped in cobwebs. Lying in the middle of the floor are 2 small skeletons wearing tattered but familiar clothing. The smaller of the 2 cradles a stuffed doll that you also recognize. Oh, I forgot that was actually a description, so this doll is here.
Dang.
The crying seems to have stopped, just as you click the lock, essentially.
Can I
Alright.
use detect magic just to see if there's anything weird about the doll before I take it?
Sure. Are you going in to check? I'm just curious where you...
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go in.
Yeah, I'll go in as well.
Sounds good.
And I want to use detect magic to, look around the room, look at the dollhouse, look at the doll. All that
I will
Alright.
stand in the doorway.
All right. Lunaris, are you going in?
I'll hold up the rear. I'll stay out with Grim.
Okay. Is those positions good for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Jax, you come in the room and you notice 2 things very quickly. The first thing is that the doll is brimming with magic, like blindingly magic. You also notice out of the corner of your eye that this chest also has magic. This chest is probably the most concerning to you because it has the distinct aura of evocation magic, which is very familiar with casters of fireballs and other horrible explosive type or attack type magic.
All in horrible. Okay. Obviously, I'm gonna let the group know, guys. There's some magic coming from both the doll, but that chest has something really powerful coming from it, so we should be very careful.
Do you think it could be trapped?
I think it's a definite possibility. Is there anything coming from the dollhouse or nothing?
No. If you want to give me a perception check.
Yeah. I kind of want to take a close look at the dollhouse, see if there's anything interesting. I rolled a 16.
Sounds good. Yeah. So what you notice also right away, although it doesn't come off as magical, there are dolls positioned in the room. It is an exact replica of this house, and the dolls have been placed precisely where you were just before entering this room. You also happen to notice that there is a Zoltan doll underneath, sort of sticking out underneath the actual dollhouse. It's kind of propped up, and he's sort of lying prone. It's nothing very special. It's like a little wicker, doll of sorts. But yeah. So your positions are exact on the thing, even though it doesn't come off as magical.
Okay. Guys, I think someone's been playing with this dollhouse to show where we are, and Zoltan's under the house.
Well, that lines up with what I've been sensing.
Can I see if there's a way to get down to those stairs through looking at the dollhouse?
Yes. You know that actually what I'll do, because you technically have a full, that this is a full site of the house now.
Replica.
That you know exactly where everything is in this
Look at
house
all
now.
those cobwebs. Holy moly.
So we more or less have a map of the area just by looking at the dollhouse.
So you know that the entrance is at this wall. You realize that there's a door located there based on the model of the house. It takes you kind of a little bit of fiddling to like really find it, and it takes you a couple minutes. And as you are doing so, Kinyaa'aanii, the doll, suddenly begins to float.
I'm glad I didn't just grab it. Damn it.
And what you see somewhat surprises you, I would think. I would think it was surprising anyway. That is... Before you, the children that you saw previously are standing together. The doll is held in the hands of young Thornbolt, and Rosevalda has her arm around the small child. They look a bit different than what you first saw. They are not as glamorous. They don't look as pretty as they were necessarily. They're not ugly by any means, but they look like normal children now. Yeah, you would suspect that this is probably what they looked like in life.
The non-illusion versions.
Rosevalda kind of looks down at her brother. Yeah. And then looks at you and says, Thorn doesn't like people touching his toys.
Away from the dollhouse. Oh, I'm sorry, Thorn. Can you help us?
They don't... Rose doesn't seem to speak. She looks down at Thorn. Thorn looks like he's possibly crying, but he's staring quite hard at you all. He's not seeming to be talking quite yet.
We help you.
That's good. The tears that Thorn, was showing suddenly evaporate, and his demeanor changes quite quickly. He says, help me. Help me. So many of you adventurers come here claiming to help or stealing like this one. And he points to Grimbald accusations, or accusatorily. This is...
I told you, Grim.
His features like really warp quite a lot. What's disturbing about it is what you would say was probably a 7, 8, maybe 9-year-old seems to gain age instantly. His facial features warp. The eyes of the doll begin glowing blue, and it lights in the eyes of the boy right soon after, and he's covered in sort of a bluish glowing mist. And he is far more menacing than what he was. He looks truly completely different than what he did. Almost like a teenager's physique caught in a small 9-year-old's body. It's like, you all come and claim that you can help, but nobody ever does. I'm sick of it.
Can I roll a persuasion check?
Sure. What would you like
to more or less ensure that we are here to help, and if we put the stuff back that we took, will you help us help you? You want me to roll?
Yep, go ahead.
$17 + 5.
Ooh,
Nice.
got some good rolls.
That was, yeah, you guys are rolling great.
Very good.
Thorn
Better than the other day.
Thorn is actually sorry, are you coming into the room just out of curiosity?
Yeah,
Okay, just
more
make
or
sure.
less.
Okay, I just want to make sure where you are and everything. So I'll just make room for you guys here. Grimbald, are you staying outside? Are you coming in?
I'm inside too.
Okay.
I'll come in a little bit.
Okay. I'll just put you at the threshold if that's cool.
The guilty party.
Yeah. Thorn's eyes suddenly lose that bluish hue, and for a second you see the original eyes that you saw, and he really sees you, Lunaris, in a completely different light. There's something about you that seems to cut through, and it's not just your words that they're persuasive and everything like that, but it's you specifically. There's something about you that sort of captivates him and confuses him and makes him look like he stutters. It's actually Rosevalda who's the most affected by you. She takes a step forward, is like, please, we really need your help. As soon as she speaks, though, the blue light seems to come back in double fold into young Thornbolt's eyes, and he grasps onto her hand and looks up at her, and she freezes and looks back down to her brother. Please, Thorn, don't. And it's like, it's time for us to have fun. They want to save us. Let's see if they can save themselves. And as he does so, the visage of Rosevalda also changes. She becomes more decayed. Her hands warp into strange feelings, into strange sort of digits. And she stares suddenly at Jax, her kind of head twisting unnaturally as she suddenly leaps and lunges into Jax's body.
Of course she does.
As that happens, Thornbold kind of has this creepy giggle as he fades out into nothingness once more. Would you please, Jax, give me... Nope, it's not initiative.
Not
just
a battle. Okay.
give me a... Let me see this for a second. Pull it up.
Over here trying to be friends with these kids this whole damn time, and this little fucking brat.
Well, I think you have a pretty good chance. Make a charisma saving throw for me, please.
Oh, that's your good one.
Okay.
Right? I think.
I rolled a 7, and my charisma's +2.
Wait, your charisma's... You're proficient in charisma, so you get your proficiency bonus as well.
Okay, so
So it's a +4.
would be +4, so
Yeah, I'm looking on your
11?
character sheet.
Yeah, so it would be a +4. So the hands of Rosevalda enter inside of you, and it's actually the raven on your shoulder whose light blue eyes, again, because you still have detect magic on, because you happen to just flare to life, and you suddenly see her visage return back to normal. She is petrified at first until her ghostly visage seems normal. Regardless of that, there is sort of a corked head from your raven who looks at you and then looks at Rosevalda, and he nods at Rosevalda, who suddenly phases into you, and you recognize that you have the presence of a young teenage ghost within your mind that is somehow possessing your body at some level. You do, however...
Can I communicate with her, or...
Yeah, if you want to, you can try.
Okay.
I'll do this one too.
What were you gonna add to that before I interrupted? I apologize.
I was gonna say, just give me a quick insight check, please.
Okay.
I was like, what the hell?
23.
What you automatically notice, as from not just from Rosevalda, but also from Poe, if that really is his name, is that there's no real malevolence that you saw just as she was at first attacking you. She seems to have desperately come into your body, almost like a young girl fleeing to her mother.
Okay.
More than anything.
Okay. So I want to kind of see if I can communicate with her to see if she knows what's going on here, and to let her know that we found a letter from her father and this isn't what he would want for them.
All right. Before I do that, you guys just watched a ghost enter your friend. What do you do?
I reach in my bag, or my backpack, to my flask of holy water and throw it at her.
I like it. I like it. Sounds
Go put
good.
your shit you stole away, Grim. Get out of here.
All right. Go ahead and give me just give me an attack roll. Just roll a 1d20 for me.
To hit, essentially. Yeah. And it's a plus dex for range, I think.
Check here.
And then proficiency bonus, so that'd be a +3. Total.
So 16 plus 3 is 19.
Why don't I see holy water in your inventory?
I don't know. It should be right in the equipment after the dagger between and the sharp bow.
Oh my god, I'm blind. Anyway. I just want to make sure I check this. Sure. Okay. Sounds good. Can you roll? So you do douse. The flask shatters against the back of Jax. Roll 2d6 for me, please.
Me or Grim?
No, Grim.
Okay.
Wow.
I got a 2. And a 3.
Okay. You hear from Jax's mouth a shriek of pain, but it's of a young girl, and she cries out, please, please don't hurt me, please. I just need to be safe from Thorn, please. Jax, you experience a burning sensation on your skin. In your own mind, you sort of kind of understand that what just happened was essentially radiant damage, which does damage undead, and so you recognize that it did do some damage to her. It doesn't appear to be lethal, but it certainly does burn. You don't take any damage yourself, but it does. You can experience her damage or her pain essentially at this point.
Can I say stop it? And
Yeah,
like
you have,
maybe.
Yeah, you seem to have every control of your body from what you can tell.
Okay. So I'm gonna yell at him to knock it off and try and like. Also, I think I'm wearing some kind of cape. Maybe I throw that off of me so that way, where the water was, gets off. I don't know.
So you guys hear two voices coming from Jax's mouth, and she's trying to defend this ghost. Do you believe her?
I do, yes.
I don't.
Go ahead and give me an insight check, please. Those who don't believe in the innocence of the seemingly possessed Jacks of Candlekeep, roll an insight for me.
All right, 5 + 1. Not really that much, but
Nope.
Not very insightful. Not very.
No, not at all.
I got a
It's-
13.
Grimbald, you're pretty sure that that Jax's rebuke towards you is about the exact same as she rebuked you for taking a bunch of shit about 5 seconds before that happened. Kinyaa'aanii, you just don't know. You don't. You're just uncertain about this. You did see a ghost truly enter into your new companion here. So. What would you like to do?
Is there any communication continuing between me and Ghost Girl?
Yeah, she seems to be just crying right now. She, it's difficult for you to even really describe to yourself, let alone somebody else. But it's almost like your soul is a raven's wing that sort of protecting and covering her. She's kind of grabbed you in that sense within, and is really trying to use you as protection. You do see Poe staring straight at you. Normally he's sort of like very like he's on your shoulder or something like that, or he's on a perch somewhere, and he's just kind of looking around, but he's really intently staring at you. All 3 eyes blaze with this light blue glow. He doesn't appear to say anything, whether internally or externally. He just watches.
Yeah. So I'm then, I guess it's an internal conversation. Like nobody else is really gonna hear it. Trying to comfort her and let her know that I will try to protect her and I want to help her. And what is everybody else doing? So I know what I should be doing externally. Don't speak at once.
I don't know, maybe persuade Kinyaa'aanii that things are okay. That we're here to help the ghost peoples.
Are you doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I guess I can tell that Kinyaa'aanii is uneasy.
Sure. What would you say to? Go ahead and talk to Kinyaa'aanii now.
Role play, go.
Do it.
Kinyaa'aanii, I know from where you're from, this entire place is probably a huge nightmare for you, and it's very strange. But you need to trust us that we are here to help these spirits. And do I need to roll a persuasion check?
No, I won't do it too much with the. I consider that basically PvP to some degree. So unless it's me taking over your character and stuff like that.
Got it.
Yeah, for the most part, I'll let you guys just roleplay to however you think your characters would react to something like that.
All right.
I hear you, and I will go along with it for now, but I'm still suspicious.
That's understandable, and you have every right to be. We'll see how this plays out. It's been one hell of a day.
Technically, it's been one hell of 2 days almost.
It's true.
It's good. It's good.
All right, so we can't really. We can only move forward into because there's nothing more we can do. As like the spirit's already inside of Shanna, so like.
That's right. We're just gonna have to trust Shanna.
Yeah, so there's no other thing that we can do.
Yeah.
Besides move on. So.
Yep. I would say that sense is kind of confirmed to you, Jax, where currently all you have is a weeping ghost girl who is she seems almost like she's just traumatized like a trauma victim, essentially, who can't speak. She's just inconsolable. You're not sure like if you can get any more information. Like you can kind of try and dialogue with her, but she just is sort of shivering inside you, essentially.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Is the teddy bear still there?
no, the teddy bear went with the ghost.
Teddy bear went with the ghost. Damn.
The chest is still there.
Have the pieces moved in the dollhouse?
I'll just put that there. Nope. They seem to have stuck still.
Okay. So I'm gonna tell Grim, I need you to put back all the stuff you stole. Now.
Yes, I will take everything out of my pockets and put it back into the box and put it on the floor.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. It seems fine. It sits there all pretty, shiny looking, and and the thought goes through your head, you probably would have gotten a good couple 100 gold pieces for all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
We don't need to we need to try and make friends here, not piss off the ghosts even more. Okay.
All right. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. We still don't know what's in that chest, do we?
As soon as you say that, the girl goes, "No, please don't touch it."
Don't touch the chest. Can anybody else hear her voice, or is it just me?
It's just you.
Okay, guys, don't touch the chest yet. Don't touch the chest. Hold on. What's in the chest, sweetheart? Talk to me. What's in there?
She kind of it seems to be hyperventilating, and she finds it hard to talk right now. But you just get the overwhelming sense that to touch it would be a very bad idea.
Lunaris, are you good with children?
Perhaps. I've dealt with some children in my life, but I can't say that I'm a parent.
Obviously. Because apparent, obvious. Anyway.
Uh-huh.
We need Rose to understand that she's safe and we are here to help.
Okay.
She's in me and she can hear you. Can you talk to her?
I will do the best that I can. So, what do you want me to say?
Poe flies over to this sort of spot on the dollhouse and is now looking at Lunaris.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like me to say? You said you want me to convince her that we're here to help again?
Yeah, let her know that, not just from me, because she's hearing it from me internally, that we are here to help, but she needs an understanding from everyone that we are all here to help, and we want her to be safe.
As a protector of Helm, I lay my oath on the line to protect you children to the best of my ability.
Grim?
I apologize, and I am here to help.
I am still sus of you, but I've been here to help.
You're sketchy, but I am a good person. The first time since the events of the previous night, Poe sort of gives a warble. It means nothing to anybody here, but it's almost like a nudge of sorts that finally allows the girl to speak, and she uses Jax's voice if Jax allows. And
Yes.
clearly it's a different
I allow.
voice. It's a young girl's voice, and she says, "You don't know how long it's been. I know you believe what you believe, but I don't know if anybody can help Thorn now. Something terrible happened to him. Something awful is here. It's not like it used to be. I don't know how long. Years. It could be centuries by now. I don't remember. So many people have come through this house. So many have... I can't. Thorn has to be stopped. It's not him. It's that thing. That doll of his. It's not like it used to be."
We get the doll. Do you think we can help him?
She sort of whimpers a bit and, seems very unsure, just based on her response. It's not quite body language, but it's an approximation of your own body language suddenly it's her controlling your body, showing others the body language, in a sense, is kind of how it works.
Okay.
And so you can almost interpret your own actions, as alien as they seem to be to some degree,
Okay.
as almost like a shrug and a fearful uncertainty, basically.
Do you know where he is now?
He'll want you in the dungeon. I never used to know it. We used to be children, but like I said, something happened to this house. We used to be trapped as ghosts, and to some degree that's exactly what we are now, but some evil dark power has poisoned my brother, allowed him to age, and given us the awareness of what exactly happened in this house. My parents did terrible things. Father thought that it was necessary. We were starving. We didn't know we were starving. And they began to hurt people, take them to the dungeon that was built by the last of our servants. They did terrible rituals down there, seeking not just to sustain themselves, but to unlock some dark power for themselves. Well, they succeeded when they murdered my baby brother, Margaret's child, Walter. Not long ago, there was a group of adventurers who came and they saved Walter. He had become some terrible beast, corrupted by the dark powers, just as the rest of my family was, and the cultists that came here. But they managed to save the baby. They, like many before them, destroyed this house as it tried to consume them. But the house has its own force, its own persistence. And we were left behind, us and Margaret. Thorn became more and more aware that we were prisoners here, and though our memories seemed to be blurry and lost to time, he eventually got bitter and angrier and called out for the same power that corrupted my parents. And it answered. It answered through his doll. And it became his companion and gave him power over this house. And now he has the power over me. And she, at that, her voice breaks, and Jax, you're physically crying now. You're shaking in terror. She's got a bit more of a hold on you than you originally thought. And so it's hard to kind of distinguish between your emotions and hers at this particular moment.
Okay, that makes
But, yeah.
sense. Okay. So did she say that through me, or was that
Yeah.
in my head?
Yeah, no, that was all out through your voice, and so
Okay.
the more she does that, the more you realize she kind of has a bit more of a foothold in your body. So
Okay.
it's not necessarily malevolent, but it is still palpable.
Jarring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it sounds like we need to get to the dungeons where we might be able to save the family and our friend.
Zoltan does sound like he's danger after hearing that.
That poor
Let's
man.
go.
I saw Thorn drag him down into the dungeon myself.
What is he
he's
doing
okay.
to him down there?
Whatever he wants. I try my best to stay away from him, but he always wants somebody to play with, and though he is older, he's still a child at heart, not unlike myself. We have very few people to... I myself have been lost in his house, under his command, under his control at a whim. I'm older, I understand that now, but I am, of course, just a spirit, and I lose myself sometimes. I have to admit, I've always wondered what it would be like to be like you. And she kind of points to herself, which of course is Jack's body. I never got to see womanhood. I never got to be like you, and you're so pretty. And she kind of like touches your face and your hair, and it's clearly affecting her in a way that she didn't expect.
Mm-hmm. Well. So what are we doing, guys?
Well, definitely don't feel safe about that chest.
Mm-hmm.
I say we go to the basement.
Let's
right
go.
away.
can help
I
if
do
you
agree.
want.
What do we do about the chest?
We leave it.
Don't touch the chest. It's full of his toys, which there's some in there and there's some in the basement. And like I said, he doesn't like people touching his toys.
Let's leave it then.
She kind of, Jax, you feel your body kind of being taken control of for a second, and she points, although you've already probably noticed, or you have noticed, she points in here in the attic storeroom. There's a door that leads to the basement. There's something terrible in there. I would be careful. I don't know how much Margaret remembers.
How much Margaret remembers of what?
Of what was done to her. I can sometimes break free of Thornbold. He's still my brother, and though he's clearly influenced by something, he still loves me in his way. But Margaret, she was our nursemaid and was never a mother or anything too special to him, so he feels more free to use her as he wills. And sometimes that's in terrible ways.
So we should be careful of Margaret if we see her. Okay. All right. Let's go, guys.
Let's go.
Where are you going? So this is where the door is. Are you going straight there, or?
That was my plan. I don't know what everybody else's plan is, but that was my plan.
Out of character, I wanted to search more in the attic, but in character, Zoltan is important.
Mm-hmm.
Let's head to the
All
basement.
right. Sounds
Basement
good.
limits.
Yeah, out of character, I would want to search more, but in character.
So there's a table. As you
Gotta
get in
save our
here.
friend.
As you get in here, let me just quickly. I'll just read this room just because it's there. Storage. This dusty chamber is packed with old furniture, chairs, coat racks, standing mirrors, dress mannequins, and the like, all draped in dusty white sheets. Near an iron stove, under one of the sheets, is something that is clearly covered, but has something kind of hanging out of it. You also notice that the sheet that's covering it is stained with blood. That would be... I guess I put it in front of the door by accident, but that's fine. Basically, yeah. At the door, you see this sort of blood-stained cover on a chest of sorts. And there is a skeletal arm hanging out of it.
It's open.
It's not open. It's kind of still covered. But yeah, you can imagine there being an arm kind of dangling right here.
And then does Shanna still have this key for the chest, or is it a different chest? Or door?
No, there's no padlock on it, from what you can tell.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's just kind of... It happens to be in the way of the door that you need to go through, that's all.
Well, if Shanna was here, I would be like, maybe ask the ghosts, even though the chest is not locked, but is it safe to open?
She answers through Jax's voice and says, I wouldn't disturb her remains. That there is Margaret. That's where my mother hid her body after she murdered.
Okay. So it's just the remains of her mother in there, in that chest.
Margaret, not her mother. But yeah.
Margaret. Yeah.
Yeah, of Margaret. Yeah, the nursemaid, the one that was in the mirror downstairs. What would you guys like to do? I love that the actual mirror reflects what's inside. It's crazy.
It's cool. What do you guys want to do?
Guess let's move it. We need to get in through that door.
Let's move it.
You guys
Let's
just
go, let's
drag
go.
it, or you open it?
Yeah, we don't need to open it. Let's just move it.
Just move it.
Yeah, sounds good. Yep. So you have to
Move the
brush some
cobwebs.
cobwebs away, and yeah, it's pretty easy to just kind of lift with a couple of you. It's not too bad. It takes a bit of wrestling just to kind of shuffle, because it is really crowded in here. Cold, dusty, all that sort of thing. But yeah, you're able to kind of just shove it in the corner over here. And yeah, easy peasy. This just happens to fold and down stairs appear. Down, down, down we go. Where we stop, no one knows. All right, I will open. I technically don't have this done. Let's do... I think I've got it. This one right now? We'll try and minimize what you guys all see. All right, yeah. So, this is essentially where you guys are. This is sort of a very loose... what you... seen.
Okay.
As you go down, 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 floor after floor.
And then suddenly the stairs turn into a slide.
Come to this. Let's see if I can't do it this way. There we go. Yeah, so you literally go down easily 100 feet. The 4 stories in about maybe. So it's probably 45 feet to the ground and then another 30 or 40 down into the ground, and you come out. And as you're looking around, technically, this is actually not supposed to be covered right here. There's a thing here, but you see to the left, there's a torch. If somebody wants to light it, and down over there, it's very dark. But yes, you find yourselves in a dungeon of sorts under Durst Manor. And it will be there that we will stop for tonight.
Right.
Right.
Thanks for playing, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for hosting.
It was fun.
Yeah, that went differently than I expected, which was great.
Oh, yeah?
What were you expecting?
Well, I wasn't expecting you to convince Rose to actually be a safe haven. So, because you rolled a pretty decent perception or persuasion, and
That's my proficiency.
and I wasn't
my
really
special.
thinking about how Poe would react to somebody trying to possess Jax.
Yeah.
I kind of decided to go a different way with it than I expected.
Cool. I like
Basically, I was going to make Shanna blow you guys up with spells. But
And
Yeah.
that's why I have holy water.
Nice.
Yeah, that was really a good idea. Actually, it's I wasn't sure mechanically if a possessed person could be affected by holy water, but I don't see why not. It makes sense that it would. Like you would do that as a ritual or something like that. So,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
I mean, they get affected in supernatural, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
I thought it was perfectly fine to let it happen. So yeah,
Quick
sweet.
thinking.
Yeah, very quick thinking. Yeah, you were right on top of that. I really appreciated that. I was like, oh, that's a smart idea. So
After last time, I was like, I looked into it a little bit. And...
fuck you, bitch! Ah! No, it's good. It's good. Cool.
Grimbald's got some nice stats. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, you also have a 5+5 persuasion, same as me. You also have like a +5 stealth, same as Kinyaa'aanii.
Yeah, Kinyaa'aanii's got some pretty good stats for what he's got too.
4
like
perception, 3 deception.
athletics +4 for Kinyaa'aanii. Like, it's pretty solid. It's good.
Yep. Yeah, I like this team.
One of my flaws is when I see something valuable, I steal it.
That's yeah. That makes
for you.
It makes a lot of sense. Because of how you guys actually role played today, I'm going to award some inspiration. This is a game mechanic that allows you in a crisis situation or just whenever you want to give yourself automatic advantage on a roll, whether it's an attack roll or a skill roll. If you feel like you just really need to do it, you recall this inspiration because you used your skills so well, or you did something that I think was really cool. So if you look at your character sheet, if you start from your strength and go all the way to the right, just past your walking speed is a button called inspiration. I will give one to Shanna for role playing so well in terms of not just leadership ability, but actually engaging with the ghost and stuff like that. Lunaris, you get inspiration for convincing the ghost, rolling so well, and everything like that. Kinyaa'aanii, I think you did a great job in actually being like role playing somebody who's skeptical. To me, it's very easy for people to just say, "Oh yeah, it's totally normal. We're just going to go with this, possessed friend of ours," without really being critical about it. I think that actually shows a good role play choice for you. So you get inspiration for that. And Grimbald, that was the best use of holy water that I never thought of. I never even thought that you would even go there. So I just think that was really great. So yeah, everybody gets a point of inspiration, or gets a little sun inspiration for what you guys did. So very, very cool. So thanks very much for I think you guys just did awesome today. That was super cool. So
negotiating.
And then
Negotiating with the ghost.
I will probably do a solo session, just a brief 20 or 30 minutes with Zoltan,
Philemon,
who has an opportunity for some inspiration if he, depending on how
Who's
he
currently being tortured
reacts.
in the dungeon. so-
Well, you know, sometimes it is just the way it is.
Just the way
and
she
that
goes.
is how the cookie crumbles.
Fundamentally, if you guys just don't show up when we're scheduled, I will probably torture you. Yeah.
Good to know.
All
Noted.
Torture.
Just low key, right? Just low key.
Sean's like, I'm never coming.
Yeah.
Just a
What, next
freaking
week?
sadomasochist over here. Little psycho. Yeah.
A little
Halfling.
of it. That's psycho.
Yeah. It's like. Anyway. All that to be said, thanks for playing, guys. For those at home, thanks for watching. If you're watching, if people want to plug themselves, please go ahead. I haven't done anything specific other than in the description below in my YouTube videos. But yeah, I am Zelazel, the Zelazel. You can find me on Twitch in the Zelazel. I haven't streamed for a while. I have a couple other videos up. But yeah, feel free to find me there. But yeah, if you guys want to plug yourselves, please feel free. Oops.
Yep, you have Lunar_Smiles here, sibling of Dear Zelza.
Where can we
Also-
find you, Lunar? What platforms are you on?
I'm on all of them. On Twitch and Twitter. I don't stream too much right now, but you know, that could change in the future.
Sometimes. I see you sometimes.
I'll plug Zoltan, also known as Ian the Scantman. He doesn't do any crazy video game stuff, streaming or anything like that, but he is a youth pastor who does who is on staff at Strathmore Alliance. So I do have his details there. If you ever do want to go to their YouTube page, it's in the description there. They do services. So if you're one of the kooky Christians like myself and Ian, then certainly we
Kooky
enjoy having.
Christians.
Yeah, we love we love talking to people about our own faith and everything like that. So it might seem odd that a couple of Christian boys are playing Dungeons and Dragons, but we also recognize things like, I don't know, C.S. Lewis, who did an entire allegorical story about Christ in the person of Aslan from, Chronicles of Narnia, for example. Seemed pretty Dungeons and Dragon-y to me, so I think it's great to have those conversations personally. So, and I know Ian's really keen to, have those discussions in the appropriate sphere for those who are interested. So,
Yeah.
Sean, go
You
next.
guys,
Then.
if you guys want shoes, find
I've got
Adam's
nothing.
Instagram.
yeah, I'll put his details in the description in any case. I don't know if he had to peace out for a second. I know he is always wheeling and dealing, this guy, and he's also been a long-time supporter of virtually every Twitch person that I know, and any person who does YouTube content and stuff like that. So
Adam's a good human.
Give him some love, and you may even find something that he may have in his wares, amongst his wares, that you might be interested. So yeah, check him out.
Do it. Sean, do you want to plug anything?
I've got nothing. I'm just a hobbit.
But also very
and
supportive.
a fantastic mod and friend.
Yes.
That's right. That's
yes.
right. Glad to have you all.
And then I guess that's me. I'm on all the platforms as well. Couple different usernames depending on the platform. Variations of Shanna Lee, the Shanna Lee, and Shanna again. Making YouTube videos, streaming, getting spooky, all over the place. Possession is nothing new to me.
Possession is 9/10 of the D&D game we're going to be playing.
I'm right at home.
It's good. Well, thanks again, guys, for playing, and we'll see you. I guess next week. We're still okay to do that, or
Yep.
I believe that was the plan. Was quick session this week, and then back to normal next week. So yeah, I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, likely, is kind of what I'm hoping to actually finish up the Durst Manor. Also, for those who may not know, the actual original name of this module is known as the Death House. So, always fun times. Until next time, I am Zelzel. Thanks for hanging out. See you.